Okay, welcome back, Mel.
Well, thank you, James. As you folks probably realise, we're in the second part of this week's Metaworld News, which is headlines for the week ending 11th of August 2019. Da 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 da. Um, when things go wrong, I start getting silly. So, this is the silly half of this week's news.
Okay.
Part two, the one where his self-discipline and concentration is all thrown. He doesn't know where he is anymore. We do. When we left you, that's a very polite word for it. We were looking at one of this week's featured articles, which is at virtualrealitytimes.com. And it's dated August 7th. And as you can probably see, if James has got my screen reworking as well,
Yep.
the title of the article is about Facebook launching an augmented reality virtual wing exhibit at the Tate Museum, which is here in London. Basically, they are taking paintings and that are already in the museum and converting to be used as well augmented reality, much more than virtual reality, really. But they have the two things have a lot in common, really. It's all known as XR these days, which includes MR, and I'm not going there.
Hmm.
Right. Um, this is the Spark AR experience, and clearly that image, whether it's totally real or not, is designed to give you an impression of kind of what goes on with the extrapolation of the various layers. Um, when I left you, or rather when my ISP left you,
Hmm.
we were looking at some of these images. There's nothing much to see in the images themselves, except that they are actual pieces of art that are in the Tate Gallery already. This one, by the way, has obviously been made into a double image, so they will presumably work in cardboardy type things. And of course, Turner here, as I was saying before, I think I said before we went off air that
Hmm.
I love Turner, but it's very minimal. It's not exactly a great deal of detail. It's hard to imagine what layers there are to grasp there to bring elements forward, unless, of course, they use some kind of technique that involves the level of light, because Turner, of course, is a master of light. Right.
If you
Another
scroll down, yeah,
self-portrait.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think we got to about here before I went
I
off
think we
air.
got to one
I,
more.
right,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, well, that's fine. This was John Singer Sargent,
Yep.
and yeah, this one
So,
is
yeah, in this image, Mel, the buildings
yeah.
look like they're what's displayed in the first image at the top of the article.
Well, that is very clever
Yeah. Yeah.
of you, observant of you.
I was
Let
paying
me
attention.
just.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was sort of. You're damn right. Yeah, it's the hill. Yeah, the hill doesn't seem so
Yeah.
high. Let's get way down there. And it looks much higher here, but then again, that would explain why there was very little sky. Okay, yeah, well, that does seem to it. It's actually the farm at water. Let's see there. I can give you the information.
Carrington. Hmm.
And as you can see, actually, I mean, I can't do that straight for you here, but you can actually go to Tate York UK and then slash artwork. You can actually see all these things online, whether if you don't live in London or can't visit, kind of thing. Um, Extensive and voluptuous mountains are juxtaposed with two small female forms that are in the foreground. Spark AR effect via Instagram camera renders this an unconventional animation effect where the relative scales in the painting are switched to create a totally compelling role reversal. Oh, I see. So the people get big and the background gets smaller, and it's like your camera moves towards the people, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah.
Ah, I guess one would have to go there to find out, and that will make there's probably plenty of stuff in that one for making into layers, isn't there?
You'll have to let
This
us
is
know how that
I love
goes.
this. This is
Yeah.
amateurs of the tie wig music. Musicians of the old school. Right, this is a bunch of amateur musicians having a jam back in 1820 and painted by Edward Francis Burney, who I don't know much about him, but I certainly do know the name. I quite like that actually. I like stuff with lots in it that you can look at for hours.
Mm.
Actually, it might make your words. It might, it's the sort of thing where there's so much detail to look at that seeing a big painting like that on the wall of somewhere like the Tate Gallery makes you think, well, it's worth my visiting.
Mm.
There's nothing worse than going to a gallery with an exhibition of old masters, and you've got a whole room full of tiny little things that are smaller than paperback book covers. The artist is miniatures, and
Right, right,
you can only get so much detail into a miniature. But then again, it's being in the presence of greatness. It's all about, really, isn't it?
right, right.
Is augmented reality suitably great in greatness terms? I don't know. I will leave that to you to answer. Right, moving on, moving on. Right, this is an awkward one. You're going to have to click on my twitter.com/Malburns, Malburns. You can find all the links to these pieces. Um, this one is, I'll say you need to click there because I'm looking at the address here and it's sort of Mailchi, which I think is Mailchimp.
Mm.
.mp, and then there's a long code number and then the article name, future of neuroscience and VR event brief, blah 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 blah. um, in fact, there's not really a title on it. If I go down here, basically it is a paper. It is a paper kind of thing. The future of neuroscience and VR, which is actually a fascinating subject because when we're talking about, thinking our movements in the virtual space, or even thinking, flipping, using your brain to flip a web page, um, that's all what comes under neuroscience. Um, Roundtable built on the conversation started at CIFAR's panel, Future of VR, Neuroscience and Biosensor Driven Development at the 2018 Game Developers Conference. And needless to say, future neuroscience in VR is really what it is. You've got the this is actually, I know what this is. This is actually an email that when you clicked through, you got the copy of the email, so to speak. Um, but as you can see, a lot here, executive summaries, impacted stakeholders, key insights, priorities, next steps, roundtable participants. Few familiar names there, of course. Kent Bye from Voices of VR podcast being at the top of the list there, though I think that's simply because his surname begins with a B. I don't think it's favouritism. Anyway, and of course, the obligatory further reading at the bottom there. And for anybody who's French who's listening to me, you get the whole thing again in French
Mm.
after that. So it's multinational, that one. Anyway, as I say, go to twitter.com/malburns and look for this post. It's about the 6th or 7th, so it's a couple of days ago, and it's um, it's actually Future Neuroscience and VR is the title of the link you're looking for. Right, back to Road to VR, one of our other favourite sites. This Ben Lang reporting. This is August the 8th, so um, that gives you the approximate dateline for the last one as well. Um, UCLA surgical training study shows VR beats traditional training by 130%. Well, I've got to admit,
It's quite
remember
specific. Yeah.
the surgeon one beat conventional training by 230%. So really, this 130% is good, it's positive, it's plus, it's more than 100%, but it's not quite as good as
200.
250%.
Right.
Anyway, and both, ironically, are studies about surgical training. The one we've had earlier in the week I read out in part one, sort of pretty much the same thing, but the results are in favour, however, whichever way you look at it.
Yeah.
But the the figures that have been popping up here seem to be different. Anyway, 20 participants in two groups of 10. Um, one using Osso VR, same software, of course, that we mentioned earlier, and the other half using conventional techniques, and that's how they got the performance criteria from. I'm pretty sure this could be. Now, I think this is a different. report on the same studies. So I think the fact that these figures are 130% compared with 260 or whatever it seems a bit odd. But anyway, go to roadtovr.com for more on that. Okay. Um, VR Focus. This is VR Focus, all one word.com. And August the 8th again. Um, Get up close and personal with a VR escape room specialist intermission. Enjoy a fully immersive escape room experience, all while sitting down. That sounds like my cup of tea. No, no standing up required. Um, Earning profit, blah, 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 blah. Okay, believe it or not, I'm stumped here. I don't know why I chose to post this particular link. Although clearly it is related to VR. It's not exactly news. It's more of a yeah. Um, uh, Look at a particular product and profitability. Um, yeah, okay. Most some of this stuff was at Trans World Room Escape Room show and conference in San Antonio, Texas this week or last week, depending on how one looks at this, I suppose. So enough of that. Staying with VR focus. Um, this is interesting. I think it's not VR, it is AR, but again, we're at that sort of thing where it's hard to know what's what sometimes. Google Maps have a live view, which I think live view is different from street view, but maybe it's just the AR component. It's a feature they're bringing out in beta. Apparently, it makes getting lost harder. Um, I guess the idea is you'll be in Google Maps and then maybe move to Street View to find your way somewhere, and you'll get lost, and you'll be able to use the augmented reality layer to find your way back to where you're meant to
Oh,
be.
sure.
I
Yep.
quite like this phone picture. It's obviously showing the equivalent of a street view up top, although it seems to be live video. Actually, maybe this is taken from the phone's camera, and then it's got the Google Maps down below. So it's sort of combining the things, and then this is presumably the AR. Maybe you set that as your start point, and therefore wherever you are, it shows you the way back like that. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, it's sort of interesting utility. I mean, I do actually love, obviously the major feature of iPhones or phones, sorry, whether you're into making lots of calls or anything else, or spending all your time bumping into lampposts while trying to read Facebook, or rather Facebook ads. I don't know. I don't know what you do, but actually, seeing where I am on a map and finding looking up somewhere to go, I find very useful. And I do like Street View. It's sort of, if I was somewhere not in London, but in a city I didn't know or something like that, it'd be very useful to be able to find your way back to your starting point. Or, well, where did I park that car? Or where did I tether the um,
Where's the
hover
bat?
car?
Where's the bathroom? That's what I need.
And yes, and where's the bar? Where's the nearest public convenience, as we
That's
call
right.
them here? I
Yep.
don't know. Yeah, anyway, so more about that at vrfocus.com. Right, now, this is something that got a bit of a big sort of PR job some time back. Nobody can really tell me, including myself, whether this is a game or a world, because it is sort of more like a world. Um, but once it was online, it was sort of people wandering around with spaceships, getting weapons, I think, having battles and various stuff like that. Um, and it wasn't actually as elaborate as it made it sound when it launched, but it's had lots of improvements over a period of time since. And it's a strange sight for a No Man's Sky user, especially for someone who hasn't touched the game since they put in 20 hours or so back in 2016, which, God, 3 years ago since it came up. Anyway, it's had massive upgrades all along. It's had multiplayer support for quite a while. And now this coming week, there's going to be a Beyond update, and it will up the player count to 32 simultaneous explorers. Not over the whole world, of course, in your group, as it were. So 32 of you can be in one region, um, and and it works in VR too. So um, there's sorry, I'm silently belching here.
Oh,
You don't want to know that. Go VR. As you can see, there's a preview at YouTube and stuff. No, that's very cute. I'm going to stop that. It's 3.5 minutes. We don't have time, but you can go to this site and find out. An all new VR universe, as they're describing it. Reshaping VR. See, we yeah, hear quite a lot of burn, a little bit about Hello Worlds, the company we're doing it. Company Hello Worlds. I think this is a good thing. I've had my reservations about Hello World since they announced they were actually going to bring out a virtual world called Metaworld,
yeah,
but they
that's
abandoned
right.
it. They're no longer doing that, so I think I'll be pleasant about them now.
Okay.
Right, okay. So follow that one. That's at uploadvr.com. That's uploadvr, all one word, and yeah. Um, and that was dated August the 9th, which is, what, a couple of days ago now. We're getting a bit more up to date, aren't we?
Yep.
Moving on. And this is a site called VR360, except it's not. It's a section of a site called Virtuality News Nest. So this is two words, virtuality squashed into one, then a dash, and then news, and then .net. So virtuality-news.net. And 9th of August is this piece on Live Planet. Somebody called Live Planet is launching the world's first claimed blockchain VR network. Now, I thought, my goodness gracious me, let me Somnium Space. Here it is in Discord, and quite a few others. Somnium Space is getting a lot of traction, and that also appears to be blockchain driven. I'm not quite sure what. Oh, is it the world's first? Gosh golly, then what was that other one? Oh, well, that was one we didn't know about when we decided we were the first. Go figure. This is a California based production company, and it's called the Blockchain Virtuality Network. Um, in depth and engaging VR programming from major blockchain industry influencers. And there we go. Bad crypto trader, box mining, block TV, decentralized films, CNIO, coincentral.com. Never heard of any of them myself, but there you go. Um, so it's a VR network built specifically for the blockchain sector. Um, I'm going to let you follow this if you really want to read about that. Um, I mean, I do know that even here in High Fidelity, that Philip and co were using um, blockchain or something for their currency or checking authenticity of sales and things. Presumably they still are. I don't really know how all that works. All I do know is that talking to a lot of people, I seem to, there's a few people that say, "What the hell are you talking about? What's a blockchain when it's at home?" Is that a thing for anchoring a ship, but it looks like Lego? You know, it's just if you don't need to know, you don't need to know. But of those who
Hmm.
do know, some people are thoroughly sort of it's a total waste of time and see no future in it, and the other half are saying this is the future of global finance. So go figure. And tenders and inventories and everything else. So anyway, Live Planners is clearly doing something, and they think they're the first to be doing it. It wouldn't surprise me if they find out that they're wrong. I suppose it all depends on how they define the service, but as I said, there is a virtual world called Somnium Space, which is all blockchain built, and it seems to me that that probably would be more deserving of the title. Moving on before I get myself into trouble. Right, Engadgets again. Engadgets, engadget.com. And another one from the 9th. This is interesting. It's sort of, for those of you who use Discord, And we are actually recording our voices at the moment for Discord, and I host Hypergrid Explorers and Creators Discord channel, which has a few hundred people in it. Recently, we got groups. For those of us with lots of servers, we've been able to group them together into folders now. It's hard to see them actually, but they are there and work. Um, the only thing is you do have to use a Discord app of somewhere to some sort to actually organize your folders and things with. If you rely on the web version of Discord or an embedded version, those don't support the drag and drop for groups. And this new feature, again, I think is probably a similar sort of thing. You probably have to set it up. Um, but um, James and I, for example, are communicating together at the moment, and it would be a simple matter if we were doing a bigger show to actually add other participants into the call. And what we actually have here is a situation where you can put 10 people into a call and actually link it to a particular game or whatever. So you might link it to OpenSim or High Fidelity and create a streaming channel for that voice. So 10 of you will be on the channel, so to speak, but more than 10 people will be able to tune in to actually listen to you. So as people involved in broadcasting a little bit, that is sort of interest to us. Um, I have not tried it yet or experimented with it, but I no doubt we'll have a go at that at some
Mm-hmm.
point.
Yep.
We'll maybe some small event or something where we'll have a perfect excuse to try it out. We will see. We will see. I certainly like the idea you can link it to the platform you're on. So there we
Right.
go. And of course, if you do have the native version of Discord running while you're in a game, which I do on my viewer machine at the moment, then chat and stuff like that that's going on in Discord actually pops up in an overlay inside the world you're in. It's not truly inside the world; it's just on a higher desktop layer, if you see what I mean. But it looks, like it's extending the world's communications. Okay, so we have a little picture up there, which is how you set. It's just a simple window for setting up the go live thing. And this article is Engadget, sort of gives you the bump on um, how you do it. Gaming chat it already has video chat and screen sharing for up to 10 people. Um, Highly requested features help lure the gaming community from outside TeamSpeak and Skype. And the Go Live feature is actually just an extension of Discord's screen sharing feature, but it can only be activated if the system detects that the user is running a game. So if you've got a desktop version of Discord running and you are in, say, high fidelity as we are now, or in OpenSim, or basically something that it recognizes as a game, then it will activate the shared streaming feature, but it won't be active unless you've actually got a game running, if you see what I mean. Automatically broadcast at 720p. Um, if you're a Discord paid subscriber, you can get more options. You can go up to 1080p and 60 frames a second. And Nitro subscribers get 4K and 60 frames per second too. So, yep, it um, sounds good. Yeah, a little bit about last month's folders. Okay, so I'm a big fan of Discord, so yeah, read about that at Engadget.com and obviously click the links there to get through to Discord, or indeed go to Malbones, twitter.com/Malbones if you missed it all and want the click that will start the sequence of clicks thereafter, if you catch my drift. Right,
Mm-hmm.
Unreal Engine, right. A lot of noise is made, I guess, Unity and Unity 3D being the thing that everybody can use, whether it's SFX in movies or like even a 2D virtual world or game. It's the authoring software that can make just about anything you want. Um, its main competitor has always probably been, in traditional sense anyway, the Unreal Engine. And Unreal, they kind of still hang out hand in hand. The Unreal Engine have actually got a new virtual production too, and they're deliberately moving in the direction of reshaping cinematography. You know, and presumably special effects in cinema as opposed to VR worlds, but it's still VR technology because it's basically the question it asks here is real-time VR technology the future of filmmaking? Now, probably yes. Hopefully not absolutely. We do need a bit more variety in our films, I think. But as I spoke about on previous shows, I think the last two weekends we mentioned The Lion King and how the photography for that was actually all done virtually. In other words, they built the world of The Lion King. They built all the animals and creatures as, you know, photorealistic avatars effectively. And the cameraman who actually were doing the filming did it in the VR world, bit like James is filming us two in this particular world at the moment, talking to you. Obviously, that was done in studios designed for film and everything. The uncanny valley wasn't even an issue; it just was, you know. Um, but the processing required for that kind of thing is immense. So it's not the sort of thing I think it'll be a long time before we start seeing that on live television. But for making a movie, you're all very well and good. And clearly, the Unreal Engine people have realised that that is going to be a big area of activity and have launched their uh, video production tool. Suitably anonymous, isn't it? Yes, do try our virtual production tool. Yeah, I won't. I won't make any jokes about them being a tool or the CEO being a tool,
Okay.
etc., etc. There's a long article here, so if you want to read about it, lots to read about there over at vrscout.com. So do check that one out. Moving on to oh, it is going to load. Thanks. I thought it was going to give me a got to pay to get in thing again. This is an article by Alice Ponce Asio, in fact, first of two, I believe. Both of them are at medium.com. Now, if anybody ever tries to click on medium.com in the last few months, you would know that I think they allow you to read three articles a month before you could, and until a month passes, you can't get through a paywall. They, of course, do promote long reading articles, and they've got quite a lot of, Philip Rosedale, for example, here is in High Fidelity. He has a column. Well, they're not a column. It's not a column or blog, but, there are people in Medium, when they feel like writing something quite expensive, Medium publish it for them. But then again, Medium also make their money by charging you to get in to read those articles, and I presume they pay some of the entrance fee back to the contributors. I don't know quite how it works, but I don't tend to pick up on things that require me to register to get in or go through paywalls or even go through advertising walls. To me, if I can't click and read it, then it's not worth mentioning. Um, and the sooner commercial websites learn this lesson, the better, as far as I'm concerned, anyway. Right, exploring the present and future of location-based VR. This is Alice's first article. This is way back on August the 3rd. The Medium posts don't tend to get through till a couple of days late. Um, uh, Location-based VR, experiencing huge surge in popularity, an exclusive webinar will explore the past, present, and future of the medium. Sorry, take the past away. The present and future. God, we get into old habits, don't we? Pretty little picture, two headset-encumbered people in a cartoon world. Yes, right. The Void getting a multi-million dollar investment from James Murdoch's Sky businesses, or no, they're not Sky, are they? They're Fox in America. Yeah, um, various stuff. It's really reporting the state of the happenings, as it were, and an in-depth review. Um, right, it has already happened on August the 7th. Um, Click here to sign up, or we'll send you the recordings. Okay. Um, right. Oh, the webinar is until December. Okay, I'll let you sort of figure it out. 'Cause this seems to be PR for a future event. So and you have to pay to get into Medium to read it. Bit odd that one. Right. Okay. So check out medium.com for more about that. If it's an actual event, we'll probably hear about it from other sources nearer the date if it's a December one. And here she is again, Alice again. This is her report on immersive experiences in education. And right, I've got an annoying thing at the bottom of my screen hiding just about all the entire page, but fortunately not showing to you. Right, physical world, contraption, phone, a different contraption, and digital world. Gosh, that's a very interesting graphic, isn't it? I suppose once upon a time I would have told you that said it all, personally. Augmented reality is that one, and virtual reality is that one. And where the people like me who just look at 2D screens? I'm in virtual reality, I'll have you know. Right, okay, biased.
Mm,
Um, newly published white paper investigates pedagogical theory and use cases of deploying mixed reality in the classroom for the benefit of people who like long words. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh no, that's got me coughing. Ah, coughing, sneezing, spluttering. Pardon me a second. My apologies. I think tried to turn away for that, but I don't think it probably worked. Never mind. Okay, moving on. I must not get excited.
Mm, okay.
I start sneezing. Yeah. Humans are essentially programmed to learn the best through experience, and that's just what immersive technologies enable. We're not learning it; we're living it. That's a nice phrase. Um, I'm just going to keep sending you to this. I think I'm actually having difficulty scrolling down this page, not the scrolling, but actually reading ahead while I'm scrolling. It's some great big advert that is a pop-up with no close button that is completely
Oh,
masking the page except for the top third of the screen, which is where my broadcast frame for you lot is. Anyway, so do medium.com again and look for stuff by Alice Bonacieux. She's a good writer, so she's worth it as well. Right, moving on to the MIT Technology Review. Not a site we oh cookie go away, come back. Look, I don't want cookie information. I just want to get rid of the oh God, go. Right. So we'll have to live with this. Right. This is the MIT Technology Review. You can't actually see their logo because their own cookie notice is hiding it. You basically want technologyreview.com. So that's technology and then review, REVIEW.com. And technology review is squashed together as all one word, as is common practice these days. This was today. Well, it's dated August the 9th, but I only actually posted it and saw it this morning. Um, you can now practice firing somebody in virtuality. So I think the idea here is if you want to be your own boss, maybe you can learn through virtuality. I don't know. But once you are your own boss, right, then one of the hardest jobs you're going to have is firing somebody delicately. So is it any surprise that somebody's brought out a VR app that will allow you to rehearse firing somebody until you get it perfectly right? I suspect most people are in personnel positions who actually have to fire somebody. They're so anxious to get it out of the way. Being polite is not taking consideration. Probably, give me your keys. You're out the door. See you later. Here's your check. How much time is spent on actually the delicacies, shall we say, of firing somebody? I don't know. Well, it's nice if they did, of course. So anyway, Barry here, that's the picture you see on screen. His sole purpose in life is to listen patiently and then protest or sob a little as you fire him from an imaginary job in virtuality. So this poor old avatar, which must be a bit of an AI in him here, really, um, is going to have a bit of a rough time of things anyway. He is, I don't know what to say, he's a disposable hero created by a company called Tailspin. a company that offers virtual reality workplace training. Um, Barry and other VR characters were developed to help teach people soft management skills, such as how to let someone go without causing a scene. If you're too blunt with Barry, he'll push his head in his hands, and other missteps will cause him to shout and yell. So yeah, maybe maybe you're about to sack somebody and you tell them they're fired, and they smash the window of 20-story skyscraper and jump up and down and throw your computer screen against the wall and flatten you and beat you up or something. Well, apparently, if you practice it on Barry and he's pissed off, he'll do all the nasty things to you to make sure you learn your lesson before. Now, you get the idea. How dare I? I'm not going to go on about this. I'm really not. Okay, and now I've got. So I'm just checking Metaworld's news feed too. Very briefly, um, these are links I haven't got loaded because that's the end of the main feed. Yeah, here we are. One from Hypergood Business was on Monday, I believe, just after last week's show. It's an article by Maria talking about OpenSim users who are split about the impact of the new Firestorm fork. Um, a lot seems to be happening in OpenSim recently, not in terms of giving you news about this, that, and the other, but Firestorm, the major OpenSim viewer, as it were, now has one fork for OpenSim and one for Second Life. I've been having a few problems logging into my own grid, including our normal studio, of course, of late. And one of the things I thought to check was, is it down to the fork of Firestorm I'm using? And so I thought, make sure I've got the right OS fork. But that didn't fix it. And sort of running a repair script on the server didn't fix it either. And all the reporting working okay, except for not being able to get in. I think it may have been a change. Apparently, the latest Windows upgrade has done something to what they call their PowerShell, or they've integrated some kind of Bash shell, which is like what I call what I think of as a DOS command line. And of course, OpenSim is a command line program. So if Microsoft have screwed up the interpretation of the command line instructions, it could be something like that. I'm investigating. We are taking a couple of weeks break, and that's the same major news, by the way. We won't be back for the rest of August, really. We'll be back with renewed freshness, as it were, in September. Hopefully by then I will have sorted stuff out. Either that or I've moved our permanent residence here. I'll have to put some seats around and make sure we
Mm-hmm.
do. Make sure we're permanently in a position where we don't get run over by motor cars in the background here, etc., etc. But or how do you fancy this? Who thinks that the in-world sorry, do you think we should actually take the news and a portable seat or something and come to a different location or a different grid every week? Your thoughts?
Who are you asking?
You,
The
I'm asking
viewers?
the viewer. Yes, I'm asking the viewers. Yes,
Okay.
they can let me know via Discord or indeed InWorld Review. InWorldReview.com will get you there too. Yeah, or any old place. Your thoughts. Your
Yep.
thoughts. Right. Anyway, back to this. This is on Twitter.com hypergrid Metaverse News feed. Maria talking about the different points that people were thinking about with the split. As you can see, she's rang a whole load of people and they've all had something to say. She didn't ring me. Hey, look, she's ringing all
Oh,
these people.
oh.
She didn't even bother ring me. Okay, well, how words about that? I think I will. Right. Okay. So also we're oh sorry, that is right. Okay. One other thing. Uploadvr.com. Um, oh yes, yeah. This is in the MetaWorld feed too. So it's twitter.com/MetaWorld newsfeed. 10 most amazing and relaxing VR chat worlds to visit and hang out in for social VR. Very much our area of interest. Though personally, VR chat is not something I particularly like. I don't mean I don't like the description. I mean the actual program called VR Chat. However, a lot of people do. It has a lot of uses. So basically, this article, which is at Upload VR, has rounded up a whole load of social VR venues. Basically worlds that you can visit using the VR chat platform. Um, it's really like what's on and where for social VR inside VR chat. It's, just in the same way you have a social destination guide in, I don't know, Second Life or High Fidelity here or Science Space, whatever. Except this one's on the web and is put there by Upload VR. So VR chat is, for lack of a better term, infamous. Yes, very good. So here's a few of the places you can go to. You can go Japan Shrine. When it says PC Quest, it means it's a destination you can go to with a PC or using an Oculus Quest. So, some of these destinations are viewable, I guess, in 2D on the screen. Others require a headset and others require
Uh,
specific.
no, PC means PC virtual reality headset or Quest. The Quest has to be downgraded in terms of quality so that you can see it,
Okay,
but it's all
I got
virtual
you. So,
reality. Yep.
right, so all these are actually 3D, require 3D viewers. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
fine. So it's all headset territory. Japan Shrine, Home of the Time, The Black Cat, Rest and Sleep, Zombies Hang Out. Oh, I like things with chessboards, but never mind. The Great Pug. Where did they get up with these names? Void Club, that sounds more typical. Room of Summer Solitude, A Rainy Night In, doesn't say where. Oh, indoors probably. Right. Big Owl's Avatar Corridor.
Oh,
So
I've
is
been
that
there a
Big
lot.
Owl or Big A? It could be Big AI. I can't really
Big Owls.
tell.
It's Big
It's
Owls.
just Big Owl.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, it's Big Owl. Fair enough. Okay, and that's all 10 of them, I guess. So, yep, you can find that at uploadvr.com, or you can find the link in twitter.com/Metaworld News. And that actually um, is it
You gonna say that's
for
it?
yeah,
Okay.
that is it. Yes, that indeed is it. So, James, time for your thoughts on the multitude of mysterious things we had this week in two parts as well.
Well, I find it quite interesting that the Firestorm Fork article. I haven't had a chance to read anything about it, but
Yeah.
I think what I've heard is that somebody stood up and took on development of Firestorm just for Open Simulator, which is fantastic. Kudos to that person to put in that effort. Wow, I can't control
Right,
this screen.
yeah, I did know that. I was about to say Melanie, not Melanie. Jessica, Jessica, that's right.
Hmm.
Firestorm. I mean, she was always quite keen on OpenSim, but she's got about 80 devs working with her on Viewer. And as she's always said, well, they're all Second Life users. They're keen to make the best viewer for Second Life, but most of them never even visit OpenSim. So priority has always gone to the Second Life aspect of the viewer, and over time, Linden Labs have been introducing more and more Second Life specific things, including, of course, things that use the Havoc engine, both use. It's not so much server side, but client side. Um, which is licensed stuff. It can't. There is no such thing as client side Havoc stuff in OpenSim, for example. I don't think there's any OpenSim platform that can afford to pay for it. Um, but also at the same time, OpenSim does have other things that Second Life doesn't have. Second Life is a walled garden, so you can't have a hypergrid jumping to other, maybe competing grids. The maybe 1,000 grids on the hypergrid, and you can jump between them. But they are all some are commercial, but in terms of land sales and stuff like that. But they have no reason not to interoperate and to share, things like assets. So you can go shopping on one grid and then bring your shopping back to your home on another grid. You can't get anything like that with Second Life because the whole thing is all garden. The shopping experience, the living experience, the land ownership experience, all happens within the firewall that's about, the great, we hear of the Great Wall of China. Well, basically, it's the Great Wall of Linden Lab. Everything happens inside it, and never does anything move in or out of it except through Linden's authorized clients. So um, I'm not sure how. Oh yeah, so I mean, more and more as time goes by, there is just so much less similarity between Open Simulator and Linden Labs Second Life. They look very similar to the user who sees them on screen, or even but uses an arrow key to walk around and do stuff. And a lot of stuff is built with prims, and then newer stuff is mesh. There are lots of commonalities, but underneath it all, the changes are far-reaching. One viewer really can't handle both of those worlds anymore because basically anything that handles open sim worlds, which are common, have a common, you know, um, platform behind them, and they're all linked together. But whatever handles that can't really handle Second Life 2 because Second Life is becoming too much of a unique sort of thing of its own. If it wasn't always, if you see what I mean. So
Yep.
yeah. Um, I would say it's good, but I mean, there has been a separation of downloads between OpenSim and Second Life at Firestorm for quite a while. It's just more recently it has actually been formalized and it allows for Firestorm, if there are enough people so inclined, to actually tweak the OpenSim version for OpenSim, if you see what I mean. So, yeah, as you say, good sign, much needed.
Yep.
All we now know is for Jessica and Melanie to get together and work with and work with all those other things that were anticipated for a new viewer. Right. Anything else? Anything else in that
No, that's
massive
it for me.
onslaught? That's so right. Okay. Well, when it reaches YouTube, for most of you hearing this bit right now will already know we're in part two. Very sorry about the hiccup in the middle. We didn't want to start again from scratch, so we just divided it into two. And even allowing for the downtime, I think we've been about an hour and a quarter on this this
Yeah.
this week's show anyway. So yeah, there'll be it'll be on YouTube as part one and part two, numbered, and the embeds thereof. And if I have time, I'll somehow download them offline and join the two of them together to make a complete show at some point to replace the part one and part two. But as I mentioned, we are going to be off. We won't have another formal news at least until the end of, well, probably September really. And well, we're all going to take it easy in the northern hemisphere's summer. If it ever arrives, we're all getting on holiday, aren't
Mm.
we, James?
Yeah.
Well, actually, so I think it's Thailand you're off to. I don't think
Thailand. Yes. Yep.
yeah, I don't think you'll have too much of a problem with the sun over there. But you never know. You never know. They may get an Arctic flurry for you.
Oh my goodness. That would be
Such
a
as global
surprise.
warming.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe what's his name? Elon Musk has got a snow machine. I won't put it past him.
No. No.
He's going to invent a snow
He's got a
machine. You see,
flamethrower.
that
Next would
he
be a
can fly.
snowthrower.
Yeah, well, no. The idea is he flies the snow machine over the Sahara. And then just as Sahara's getting drier and everybody else is moving, then
Okay. I
he
call
can
rabbit hole on that.
yeah, wise, very good, very good.
Uh,
Rabbit hole has been
you're
called.
right.
That means shut up, Mal. For
Elon
those of you who
Musk
don't know.
got into the conversation about traveling to Thailand. Okay.
No, I was thinking traveling to the Sahara with an ice machine in the
Mm.
sky.
Hmm.
Will liquefy the Sahara. Yeah, yeah. Rabbit hole, rabbit hole. Okay, anyway, so for now, and for the next couple of weeks, it's goodbye from him.
Ah, and it's goodbye from him.
That's the two of us. And we will see you somewhere, sometime, someplace, some week or other, in the very near future, but not next week or the week after. And yeah, we will let you know where we are. And obviously, you'll find out where we are when you see the replays. So there we go. Bye for now, everyone. And you too. If any of you folks are using this typical time of year for a holiday, have a good one as well. So we will see you then. Bye bye.